And tonight I am joined in the studio by a young man by the name of Joe Casserley. Good evening, Joe. You're very welcome.
Pat, thanks a million for asking and having me on. Absolute pleasure.
Good man. Now, Joseph, first of all, let me just settle something. You're on a lot of your advertising. It's John Joseph Casserley, but everyone called you Joe. Where does the John Joseph, or was it a double barrel name?
Well, it was always John Joseph, but the older I got, then it just become Joe. But now you have to put your official, like on Facebook and social media, they want your official title, and there's no kind of getting around it. So it's caused major confusion for a lot of people. They don't know whether to call me John or call me Joe or call me something worse.
Good man, good man. Well, Casserley, of course, is a great Irish name. So what's the Irish connection, Joe?
Well, obviously, I was born in Birmingham, would you believe, but Mum and Dad brought us to Manchester when we were only babies. Mum and Dad both from Roscommon, Mum from Lissacull, Dad's from Elphin. So obviously they got married and moved over to the UK.
Good stuff. And were they both involved in the music business?
They were. Surprising enough, Mum grew up and their family had a dance hall in Lissacull, McLaughlin's Dance Hall, Lissacull, which a lot of people might remember a long time ago. And when Mum and Dad first met, Mum was the singer in a band and Dad was the drummer in a band, and it was kind of one of the big bands. Seamus Scott was the band leader. Good
stuff. And but you didn't start your life as a singer. You started off as a DJ.
I did. Yeah. I did, and I was still doing DJing. I still do bits and pieces of the DJing, but after my 21st birthday, I was quite fortunate to get a few pound, and I just was wondering what to do. What should I do with it? And I was watching Alan Keegan DJing at my 21st and thought I might have a go at that. And that was it then. Never looked back. Alan's been quite a big influence for me, really.
Yeah. And of course, along with this, we'll get back to the singing in a moment. But along with the singing, you're involved in a lot of corporate work as well in the Northwest, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I mean, over the years, I look back and I think that there's not too many things I haven't had a go at, but I've been very, very fortunate. Been at Manchester United for 15 years, working on the corporate side with sponsors, and been lucky enough to travel all over the world with them. It's been a dream job, and love it. It's such a great time. And then I managed to get a job at Sale Sharks doing the rugby, which another brilliant job. That's based there just over Barton Bridge. And then the last one I kind of took on was the cricket, and I managed to get involved in that with when the World Cup was held at Lancashire Cricket Club. Well, it was here in the UK, but there was a lot of the games there. So yeah managed to be fortunate enough to get in some great organisations.
So then you were, like you say, you were the DJ.
Yep.
So what influenced you to want to become a singer?
Pat, I was a bedroom singer from being about 7. I thought I was Elvis for a many time, and then obviously that was realised when I was about 35 maybe. We started doing it, but I always loved singing. Mum was a singer. Mum and Dad were always trying to encourage us, but I was that nervous where the singing was concerned. I just didn't have the nerve to do it, and then Kev DC was putting a band together, and he just asked me, did I fancy getting involved with The Last Drop? And I said yeah, and pushed myself through the pain barrier. I was so nervous the first few years actually of getting up singing in front of people. Yeah, well, of course, as you know, I've worked with you on a few occasions, of course, with my band, and seeing you doing your Elvis tribute, and I've got to say, it's really funny. That was something which just happened by pure accident. I was doing my friend's 21st birthday, and they had an Elvis impersonator. I was always a big Elvis fan, but they had an Elvis impersonator. Let them down, and they just asked me would I do Elvis for them, and what are you talking about? No one's ever heard me singing Elvis. Anyhow, we had to do the funny slant of it because I couldn't do a serious one, and yeah, it just went from strength to strength. Yeah, and been very fortunate with it.
That's great. And tell me, you've had some great musical experiences then since you got into the singing.
I have.
That stands out in your mind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the Elvis in particular, with Jerry Flynn's travels and the tours. Jerry took me to Spain. I can't remember whether it was Torremolinos or something, and I did Elvis there, and it was great. And then he took us on a trip down the Danube, which, I mean, these are things people dream of, aren't they? But we did Elvis there, and it was very, very well received. And done Elvis 3 times for Sir Alex Ferguson as well.
There's something to
3 venues, yeah. So yeah, it's been great fun, and still enjoy it. It's been a while since I've done it now, obviously with lockdown, but yeah.
So tell me then, Sir Alex didn't throw the hairdryer. He liked your Elvis bit, did he?
Well, he did, yeah. He's got a great sense of humour, and he really does get involved in. He'll take part in anything you want him to take part in, yeah. So I did stay on the right side of it. If it was me footballing endeavours, now that might have been a different thing. He would have thrown more than a hairdryer at me.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so it's good.
Good one. Joe, who's been your greatest musical influences? Obviously, Elvis has got to be one of them.
He was, and for many, many years, I wouldn't listen to anything else. I felt like I'd been disloyal if I listened to anything apart from Elvis. But with the DJing, it opens you up to so many different genres of music. I've got to say, on the Irish scene, Daniel O'Donnell, believe it or not, when he first started out and he had his first album, Stand Beside Me, I think it was, the album that was on. And we really did listen to Daniel over and over again, and the likes of him, Sean Cuddy, and then you had Declan Nerney, but the likes of Michael Bublé and those people as well. There's so many different mixes of music, but Irish music has always played a big part in my life, yeah.
Yeah. So Joe, you now sing with a band called The Last Drop, so how did The Last Drop come about?
I do. Like I mentioned earlier on there, like Kev Deasy first approached me, and I don't know why he approached me. I think he was looking for somebody who could talk, because there was quite a few of the lads have got great musical backgrounds. We've got Paul Daly, who's on the flute, Paul Farrell on the fiddle, and then the Brennans, who you know well, come from a big musical family. Darren Brennan on bass guitar and Andrew Brennan on the drums. Kev was on the rhythm guitar, and Kev sings and Darren Brennan sings, and you know, I was one of them whereas I do all the links, do a lot of the chat, and do a song or two in between it. So it worked very well, and yeah, it was great. We got off to a flying start with it. We were very, very lucky, and yeah, it was something which I'd always wanted to do, but never was in the right position and never had the nerve. And I still find it quite difficult doing it, but you've got to push yourself, haven't you? And yeah, it's been great, man. We do a great selection. You know, there's a real kind of bit of a Celtic feel, a country feel to it, traditional. So the band do cover every kind of genre of music.
Great. I see where you come from with Darren. Darren actually played bass with my band for about 12 months.
He did indeed. Yeah, of course, yeah.
Good singer, good bass player, but very shy. Otherwise, you would never get him to talk.
But yeah, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, believe it or not, I am shy where the likes of that comes. I did find it very difficult at first. But Darren's in the same, push yourself and do it. And Darren has no problem singing at all nowadays, you know.
Yeah, very good. Joe, we've got one of your videos coming up now taken from one of the Irish festivals in Manchester some years back.
We have, quite a long time ago. This video was never released. It escaped somewhere along the line. But yeah, we did the opening of the Irish Festival a couple of times, and we were lucky enough to play in the big tent. Brilliant atmosphere, absolute full house. And Dave Richardson was down there with his video camera, as always, yeah.
Great. So, folks, we're going to take a look at Joe Casserley and The Last Drop right now.
Where's Claire? Is she back? Up you get, come on, Kira, Joe, and Marie. Get the hands clapping. Come on. Country roads, take me home to the place that I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads. Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is older, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place that I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country roads. All my memories gather round her. Mama's lady, streets to the road. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Used to taste the moonshine, teardrops from my country roads. Take me home to the place that I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country road. I hear her voice in the morning hours talking. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get the feeling that I'm going to be home yesterday. Let's hear yesterday. Here we go. Country roads, take me home to the place that I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home to the place that I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads. Alright, we want to see a few more of you up on the dance floor. Come on. Anyone from Tyrone?
I'm Daniel O'Donnell and this is my new album, How Lucky I Must Be.
No wonder that I tell myself how lucky I must be.
Featuring 12 brand new tracks.
I know that God is angels watching over me. So take my gift of silver and wear my ring of gold. After all we've been through together, who'd believe?
How Lucky I Must Be. Available to order now.
Preserving your memories isn't expensive, it's priceless. Do you have precious family memories on video, cinefilm or slides? If you want to relive memories of your loved ones, some of whom may not now be with you, you need to transfer these onto DVD to ensure that they'll be watchable for many years to come. Here at Rich Video, we've specialised in preserving your irreplaceable footage for over 20 years onto DVD using the latest edit suites and authoring software. All our DVDs are fully authored with scene selections and come with personalised covers and printed discs with still images from your film, which provide a lasting memory for you and your family for generations to come. All the transfers are done in our studios based in Stockport. They're not sent away to be transferred by an outside source, unlike many other companies. If you require further information, please ring us on 0161 635 6207 or email us at sales@richvideo.co.uk, where your past is always present.
Well, Joe, once again, it's great to have you here on the show, and like I say, we've worked together several times, and
We have indeed.
we'll probably find the things out for one another we didn't know when we do these television shows. Of course, that's when you find things out about people
Well,
that you didn't know. Of course.
Exactly.
So tell me, you've done some TV work as well.
Many years ago, I had a go. As you can see, I've had a go at most things. And Mum used to work at Granada Television in Manchester. Anyway, one day I just give her my CV and she brought it in. And I think Mum started work about 7 o'clock in the morning. And I got a phone call at 11 o'clock. Did a fancy coming down? And you remember Rick Mayall from The Young Ones?
Of course,
and
yeah,
he was starting a new television series called Rick and Mayall Presents. And they wanted me to be his stand-in, which meant they had to run all the cameras and all the shots and everything through, and I had to be on set all day. I'd do all that, and then Rick Mayall would turn up and he does all his bits then, which took about half an hour. But that was a great experience. I absolutely loved it. And then that was for about 5 episodes they filmed of that. Rick Mayall, sadly, not with us anymore. But after that, I did a bit of extra work, and that wasn't for me,
No.
really. No. So we left the television world behind us.
Yeah. Of course, they paid you Rick Mayall's fee as well, didn't it? Yeah.
I got paid. Do you know what, Pat? I did. I got paid great money. You used to get paid. He was a taxi driver in the first one, and this is without a word of a lie. They used to pay you that was like having an extra talent, being able to drive a car in a straight line. And one day, there was a blonde leading lady, I can't remember her name, but there was her double who was working with me all the time. She was an ex-Miss UK, and I actually got to kiss her in the back of the car because the couple who were supposed to turn up didn't turn up, so that was off to a great start.
That was a great start, Joe.
For her, not me, obviously.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you've got a very successful stream as well. It's a community stream.
It is,
Yeah, the Full Irish.
The Full Irish, yeah, which obviously we started off doing it as a show, and it was hugely successful as a radio show. Mm-hmm. And then, that we finished the radio show maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I'm not sure the exact date. And it was just when lockdown happened, and as you know yourself, we've all got to go into our inner talents and see what can we do. We got an awful lot of people saying, was there any chance of you bringing the Full Irish back? It's needed now and all that. And me and my other half, Claire, just thought, we'll have a go. We'll have a little play around with it and mess around. And it's been incredible. The stream is on Facebook on a Sunday between 3 and 5. And the response has just been amazing. It's been really, really well received. Yeah, we love it. It's great fun.
Yeah, I've seen it several times, of course, and you and Claire really bounce off on it, don't you? Yeah.
Do you know, a lot of people think is it all put on and but that's how we are, and that's how we are with each other. I get Claire, Claire gets me, and yeah, we do. We bounce off and work well together. Yeah, it's great fun.
Yeah. Tremendous stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, you've worked with some great musicians on the circuit over the years. Is there anybody that sort of stands out in your mind as being one of your favourites?
Do you know, I mean, there's so many which we've been either been through the DJing or the hosting nights and things. We've been really, really lucky. And Pat, I've always said it, and not just because you sat there, but I mean, I've worked with you as I've been a DJ and you've been the band at so many weddings and functions. You're a true professional, and I'm not just saying it because you're here, but it's always been a pleasure working with you. I've got to say, Philomena Begley would probably be one of the greatest who we worked with. We did the Irish Festival in Pontins for over 20 years, and Philomena Begley was just so grounded, so down to earth. There was no airs and graces with her, and it was just great watching her perform every night. The people absolutely loved her, and yeah, it was always great. But of course, Daniel O'Donnell, thanks to Bernie Doughty, she asked me one time, did I fancy doing the DJing at the Daniel's annual dinner, and we've done that ever since. And obviously you've been at it every year. And Sean Cuddy, always great. Sean has so much energy. It'd annoy you. He's that healthy, he's that fit, and just such a great show. So yeah, I've been so lucky and played with some great people. But I'd say Philomena Begley, Daniel O'Donnell, and Sean Cuddy. It's always been so much fun being with them.
Well, Joe, you certainly have had a wide and varied career, and we're going to go to another clip of yours now. Okay, folks, so a clip of Joe Casserley.
Okay, we're going to take a walk, Daniel. There's a big moon of love out there tonight. Let's go for a little walk under the moon of love. Let's sit down and talk under the moon of love. I want to tell you that I love you, and I want you to be my girl. Little darling, let's walk, let's talk under the moon of love. You were looking so lovely under the moon of love. Your eyes shining so brightly under the moon of love. I want to go all the time, and I want you to be my girl. Little darling, let's walk, let's talk under the moon of love.
Well, Joe, you've had many various experiences in your musical career. Is there anything that sort of jumps out at you? And
do you know, I do surprise myself at some of the things I've done over the years and attempted over the years. The singing's been great. I love it, and I probably love it more for myself than the poor people who have to listen to me doing it. But I was asked by Alex Ferguson to do Elvis at a small private dinner he was having. There was only 30 people at it for him and some of his friends. And I've got to say I was on a high when he asked me to do that. And that was a great pleasure. But Pat, you know yourself, been up singing with Daniel O'Donnell. You know, for someone like me, it's an absolute honour and a privilege. And we've done that a few nights, a few times at the dinner. But the singing's been great. I've got to say, working at Manchester United, I've had the pleasure of working at Wembley 3 times, and I've been lucky enough to interview some great players: Brian Robson, Peter Schmeichel, Andy Cole, Gary Pallister. And, you know, that is a different, obviously a different level. But, yeah, I've been really fortunate with some of the things I've done.
well, Joe, seeing as we just had a footballing a few weeks with the Euros.
Yeah.
What's your take on we've got to wait for the music for the moment now, on the game last night, was it?
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, we need a new tune. There has to be a new song because football's not coming home and they can't keep on singing that. So, yeah, they could do it some of a bit more of an Irish influence, because Put 'Em Under Pressure is one of the greatest footballing songs ever.
Yeah, of course. So once again, Joe, you know, it was great to have you here in the studio and having this chat.
It makes a big change, Pat, because it's normally me asking you the questions.
That's right, Joe.
Which I'd rather. But yeah, I mean, coming up in the not too distant future, we're going to be switching reverse roles here.
We are, yeah. We're going to bring you in as a guest presenter.
Yeah,
course.
which I'm really looking forward to. We've got 1 or 2 special guests, obviously, who I'm going to be chatting to. People will know them, but we'll keep that under wraps for the time being. So, yeah, that's great. I'm just waiting for Hollywood to come knocking on the door.
Joe, I always ask this question with the guests we've had in. What advice would you give to some young people starting off in the music business today?
Well, I mean, Pat, you'll know yourself. You're always behind new artists and new acts. I've done loads and loads of work with young people through the show, the Full Irish. Obviously, the being out there in the scene is so important, whether they're actually performing themselves, getting to know all the acts and the bands. You've got to go out, make yourself known. You've got to be in the shop window. And it's just keep on at it. Get as many gigs as you can. Do them for nothing if it gives you the experience, you know. But I've always found that any of the Irish artists and acts, especially here in Manchester, because that's where we are and that's who we deal with, they're more than willing to help any of the new, you know, talent which is coming through. And there is some great new young singers in Manchester. And yeah, you've got to keep at it. You've got to work at it. And, you know, Nathan Carter was really, really great. I mean, we all watched Nathan Carter do the local clubs and everything. I seen him in a pub in Charlton where there was about 10 people, and that wasn't too long before he made it massive in Ireland. So he put in the groundwork. You've got to put the work in, haven't you?
True, John. Yeah. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of tonight's show. I'm glad you tuned in, and until the next time, this is Pat Jordan saying cheerio.